Hello, what is going on, guys, and welcome to Dark Souls with Rhoxio. I decided to do basically a playthrough of Dark Souls because it is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Honestly, it's a great game. It's challenging. It's got the best story ever. There's so many things about this game that are just genuinely awesome. I can't even name them all. It's notorious for being a very challenging game. There's lots of jokes about, oh, Dark Souls is so hard, Dark Souls is this, Dark Souls is that, Dark Souls is impossible, it's unfair, you're gonna pull your hair out. Well, I'll kind of show you some tricks to help you get through the game as easily as possible, and I will try to be as informative as I possibly can. Something to keep in mind for the first 4 episodes, I really had problems recording these first 4 episodes. I'll give you the basic lowdown. This is actually like my 4th recording of episode 1. I'm not kidding. One of them didn't render right, and I deleted the raw files, and just everything is going wrong. So, I don't know. Kind of dumb. So as you can see, I do have a load game thing here, just my other stuff. So I'm just going to go to new game real quick and just start a new one. Character name, just going to Rhoxio, Rhoxio 3, just for right now. Of course, it's a male. The class. I'm going to be going a dexterity, it's a tanky dexterity build. Not really tanky dexterity, it's a dexterity buff build. So I'm basically going to be going Wanderer for this, because it has a decent amount of starting dexterity and a decent amount of starting intelligence. So we're going to go ahead and be a Wanderer. Gift, you always want to get the Master Key unless you're Thief. Otherwise, it's just the other gifts aren't very good. You want to get the pendant for reasons that some people may know about, get the pendant, but other than that, it's not worth it. So get the Master Key. Now for his physique, I think I made him slim. My original Rhoxio character. The face isn't going to matter because we're never going to see the face. Hair doesn't matter. I don't remember what it was. I think I just had it. I think it was just this, and I think the actual color was light brown. Alright, so now we have our character starting off. So, basically the Wanderer class in the beginning of the game is kind of like a light melee class. They don't have a lot of vitality or a lot of endurance, very little faith. We're not going to be using faith, though. They have pretty good stats, honestly, already. So, let's go ahead and start the game. And there will be an opening cutscene, and I'll shut up for it. So, I'll meet you guys on the other side.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity, heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark. Then from the dark they came, and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Izalith and her daughters of Chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights. And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords, they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bullets peeled apart their stone skills. The witches weaved great firestorms But soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights. And amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed Darksign.
So, if you are officially confused as hell, that's okay. I'll give you the short version while this intro cutscene's kind of going. Essentially, there used to be nothing, just the dragons, and then there was fire. From the fire arose basically what are now the giants, or the descendants of the giants, rather. I'm not sure if it was actually the giants or the descendants of the giants.
The Darksign brand
Hold on, I'll wait till
the
this is
undead.
done.
And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Okay, so I'll get back into the lore. Essentially, the four lords rose, defeated the dragons, and started the Age of Fire. The Age of Fire is perpetuated by Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, which I believe I'll kind of explain more about him later. He's basically, I guess you could say the leader of the four in a way. Not really. They're all kind of like their own entity. And the Darksign is the sign of the Undead. And the sign of the Undead essentially is it basically means you literally can't die. So you can just keep coming back and coming back and coming back as long as the fires are lit, kind of thing. So, alright, let's get the game started. So first off, you probably saw me grab the dungeon soak key, so I grabbed it and opened the door, and now we can continue on. So you start out with this crappy little sword. It doesn't really do anything. You know, you can hit stuff with it, but it doesn't do any damage at all. It does like nothing. So it's not even really worth like killing these guys. They only give you a little bit souls each. So we're just gonna continue on. Head on over here, and you would turn to the right. And there's a little doorway over here, and your first instance of a ladder. Pretty simple obstacle. Head on up. And we're going to have our first instance of a bonfire in here. I'm just going to go ahead and use it real quick. So, these are bonfires. These are essentially kind of like your save points in a way, but not really. Let me explain. Bonfires are where you resurrect at when you die. If you die, when you die. I should say when you die. You'll come back to the last bonfire you rested at, and your Estus class will refill. We don't have that yet. This game doesn't have like a save feature. It auto-saves you whenever you do things. So if you're doing really bad and you're like stuck down in a hole and you don't want to lose your souls or something, the only way you can get back to the bonfire is A, dying, or B, using an item or a spell to get you back. So this is kind of a peaceful room. Let's kind of look around a little bit, and all of a sudden a fat-ass fucking demon drops out of the sky, and you don't actually fight him. You just go into this doorway. Unless you're trying to go... Ooh, he hit me a little bit. Unless you're going for the demon great hammer, then you do that, but that's for later. As you can see, there's an archer over there, and this is no bueno. We don't want to get hit by those arrows. So wait till he shoots an arrow, and sprint your ass over here, I picked this up. It's a leather shield, so we just got a piece of equipment. So the way you equip, you go into your menu, go to change equipment, and a lot of people fuck this up. These are your weapon slots. These are your offhand slots. They don't need to line up or anything. Just make sure you can switch them around. Like I'll show you real quick. Like nothing equipped in these, right? Well, if I hit Z, my shield goes away, and I just have my sword out. If I hit X, I'm barehanded. Now I can hit them both at the same time, and kind of fucked up there. And it'll bring stuff back out, kind of thing. So you can switch weapons around. All right, so right here, as you can see, he shoots an arrow. I can block it because I now have a shield. Can't get around him because he's being an ass. Oh crap! Go ahead and grab your scimitar from right here. After you grab your scimitar, you want to equip it as fast as possible. You basically get a set of armor in the beginning. Like the armor I have on is the Wanderer set, and the weapons I have are just the Wanderer starting gear. Like this small round shield isn't very good. Like it has like no stability, no like physical defense, but it's something for the beginning of the game. We don't have to worry about it too much at this point because this is honestly just like the introductory place. So when you, oh yeah, I probably should have explained the traversing white lights. I'll explain it when we get to the next one. So right here, there's a little trick. You may notice at the top of that staircase, there's a boulder. You can trigger it; it'll roll down at you, and you just need to walk off right here, and it'll break a big ass hole in the wall. And there's a guy in here we need to talk to. Hello, this is the guy that saved us earlier, if you may remember.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I are both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Sure, I'll hear you out. Oops.
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know, and I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask, an undead favorite.
Alright, so that's how you basically heal in the game. Estus, and he gives you the key for the upstairs thing.
Bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
So, I'll probably explain a lot of the bell ringing stuff a little later when we get more into it. Rest of bonfire, replenish Estus flask. Yeah, see, it kind of gives you little tips. So, when you come to the we just killed himself, that's sad. When you come to the top here is your first instance of enemy that's actually going to attack you. These guys aren't hard. Remember, you can block their attacks. Don't be scared to, like, attack these guys back. They're not really hard or anything, I'm just gonna kind of mess around with them and kind of show you how it might work. As you can see, I don't do a ton of damage. These guys usually get one shot. So there's the key that we had. We just used it. And come on over here, and be careful when you're here. You need to make sure you look to the left because there is a couple of these other guys here. So there's actually different types of attacks. This is an R1 attack, that's a standard attack, and this is a power attack. You can do a power attack by hitting R2. So I'm going to try and do a different type of attack now. It's called a backstab. I got it. If you are good enough to get around behind the enemy and you get yourself in the right position, you can actually do a backstab for a bunch of fucking damage. There's also something called parries, which I'll try and show you real quick. I'm just going to kill this guy. Let me see if I can come parry this guy in here. So you make sure you want to lock on when he comes up to hit you. See, I got a parry right there. That's called a parry and riposte. Basically, when they're swinging at you, if you have a light shield on, you can hit your on PC it's the tab button. Not sure what it is on consoles, and then it'll do a parry. And as soon as you parry, you hit your attack button, and it'll do that counter attack like it showed you. So now I guess I should probably explain fog gates. Basically, these are thresholds into difficult areas. Essentially, this gate leads down to fight that asylum demon down below. So you need to be careful when you're traversing these things, in all honesty. You actually get an innate advantage from coming up here to the top of this place, and I'll show you what it is. There's actually another kind of attack that I can show you called a plunging attack, where you can drop onto the enemies and completely fucking annihilate them. See how far his health went down right there? Okay, so this is the Asylum Demon. He's a pretty easy boss. Mainly what you want to do is... Ooh, he hit me right there, but I have my shield up, so I didn't take too much damage. You mainly just want to try and go around by his ass and just, like, slash it. Oops, I missed, kind of. Oh, and then he does this smash attack. Just step away from him. He's pretty vulnerable right after he lands, honestly. As you might have seen right there, I did, like, a little roll thing. Basically, that's... You really want to learn how to roll well in this game. Like, I'll try and do it again real quick. I'll show you. Because you can dodge almost every single attack if you roll right. Except for some magic and stuff like that, so go ahead and do it. And as you can see, I completely annihilated the first boss. He's not very hard at all. And we got the big Pilgrim's Key. He should give us a humanity as well, I think. Yeah, he did, okay. I'll explain humanity real quick. I guess humanity are basically little black sprites that give you a special kind of power. Essentially, undead, when they are undead, don't have any humanity. Humanity is what makes humans humans. It's also what keeps the bonfires lit around the next area, like around everywhere. So, humanity is a very important thing in this game. You can use humanity to kindle bonfires. You can use it for lots and lots of different stuff. So, just keep in mind they're very important items. So we're gonna go ahead and head over here.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the undead asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords.
Lordran, that's where we're going to be the entire game, essentially, until we go to Painted World, and technically, well, actually Ulasil's in Lordran, so we'll see. So if you're wondering why you're riding on a crow, I couldn't tell you. There's speculation as to why that crow actually comes to help you. I think it has something to do with one of the four knights of Gwyn. I forgot what her name is, but yeah. So now we're at Firelink Shrine. This is the main hub in the whole world. This is... I'm gonna go grab this item real quick. I can't remember if I did this in episode 2, but whatever. I'm just gonna do it. So as you can see, you can pick up items, gain the humanity, like kind of like that. This bonfire, we're gonna go ahead and rest at it. Now you may have noticed I just gained 10 Estus. That's because this bonfire is kindled beyond its default kindling level, I guess is the way I would say it. Basically, someone gave 1 humanity to this bonfire, which was the Firekeeper, which I'll show you next episode. We're gonna go talk to this guy real quick, so he kind of sets up the story for us.
What do we have here? You must be a new arrival. Let me guess. Fate of the undead, right? Well, you're not the first, but there's no salvation here. You'd have done better to rot in the undead asylum. But too late now. Well, since you're here, let me help you out. There are actually 2 bells of awakening. One's up above in the undead church. The other is far, far below, in the ruins at the base of Blight Town. Ring them both, and something happened. Brilliant, right? Not much to go on, but I have a feeling that won't stop you. So, off you go. It is why you came, isn't it? To this accursed land of the undead?
So, essentially, yeah, there are 2 bells that we need to ring to open up the gate to the next big fucking area in this game. So, we're actually going to end the episode here. Next episode, we're going to be collecting some introductory items, doing a couple of other things, probably heading up to the next couple of bonfires, maybe even killing the Taurus Demon. So, make sure you guys comment, rate, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.